Get the album. You can get the album.
You think that tennis is about expressing yourself, doing your thing. You don't know what tennis is.
What is it?
I think one of the most difficult relationships in the film is Tashi's relationship with herself. I'm just curious, from your perspective, what does she truly want?
Truthfully, she wants to play tennis. I think it was her one true love, but I also think that she came from a different background than these two. And like, she didn't have another option or a backup plan. Like, this was going to be her life and her way of kind of providing for herself, for her family, like, and she didn't have anything to fall back on. So she didn't have that luxury or that privilege, right? So for her, it's her everything. Yeah. And that's why her commitment is so strong and her dedication to it is so strong. So when it's taken away from her so prematurely, it's devastating, but she's also the kind of person that won't allow herself to grieve it or won't give herself a moment to even acknowledge that it's happened. Instead, she's like, pivot, shift, moving on, resolve. What do I do now? And it's just immediately transitioning into something else and ultimately putting her hopes and dreams and everything else into her partner, into who, you know, she's in a marriage with, which you can't do. It's not sustainable. And I think that we're watching that kind of crumble, and this idea of like her proximity to what she loves or truly wants to hold on to, her last bit of power, her last bit of like her own life is slipping away from her, because if he doesn't want to play tennis, then what else does she have left that's her own? And she's built her life around someone else. I think we're just watching someone kind of, their life fall apart, and her trying her best to just hold it together.
I'm just asking that you love me no matter what.
What am I, Jesus?
You mentioned that Luca had such a great sense of understanding of these characters before you were working on this project. How did he help you humanize these characters even when they were at their ugliest?
Oh, in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, Luca's, if you look at all of his work, it's all about the human aspect. I mean, he's fascinated by the construct of character. He's also incredibly forgiving of characters. I think that's the thing I like most about this film in some ways. We talk about these three kind of characters who make terrible mistakes, even if we're very different from these characters in reality, is to accept that we are all capable of being these characters. People make mistakes. That doesn't define them. And I think Luca really has that understanding. I think he really doesn't judge the character. Right. It's about where's it coming from? What's the motivation?
You want my best piece of advice for you? You want me to coach you? Okay, quit.
Just generally, the three of us, they have that in abundance. It's all about how do you understand where the character's coming from, what the character wants, and where they are currently.
Right on. Yeah, I know he's incredible. I was watching Bones and All recently, and I'm like, how am I empathizing with the cannibal?
I know. We watched that while we were filming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he was still, he was done editing and everything, but
but
it was still
hadn't
come out yet.
Did he give you that as like homework to watch, or like these are crazy characters?
It was like a fun thing.
Oh wow,
a little bonding.
Yeah, that's special.
I was yelling at the screen.
I want to have a little bit of fun for a moment. You all are wonderful theater kids with beautiful voices. What's a song you would want to hear the other ones sing? Any song. It doesn't have to be a theater song.
I would like to hear Josh sing "If I Could Turn Back Time" by Cher.
I can do that anytime.
I know.
Not now.
Well, let's hit it.
Not in front of the camera, but anytime in private.
This is so specific.
Yeah.
I've never thought about this.
I don't know, it just came to me.
I would like to hear Dear Evan Hansen again.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
The album.
Get the album. You can get the album. What would we like to hear Zendaya?
I'm just saying, I know it very well, so I would like a live.
Do you have like a karaoke go-to?
Yeah.
What is it?
Not telling.
Whoa.
Come on.
What? That was so... Oh, like, come on, be more open-minded. Yeah, combative. No.
Angels by Robbie Williams.
Oh.
Really good. Thank you.
Do you have one?
Like a good go-to karaoke. I hate karaoke.
Me too,
really?
but you had one.
Karaoke terrifies me. I had a bad experience. I had a birthday party when I was like 14.
What happened?
It was just like, I'm very shy. I was like, I didn't want to do it. And I went up there and I felt really awkward about it. And I was just like, I hated that.
Yeah.
I was like, never again. No karaoke parties for me.
I get it.
I think Challenger shows the nuances and complexities of male relationships and friendships. How does Art and Patrick's journey show a side of male relationships relationships that we typically don't see on screen. Mike, let's start with you.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing, just from art's perspective. It's this, we were talking about this last night. It's this idea of like, Art arguably is the least talented tennis player amongst the two of them. And so because of that, his insecurities are always in the driver's seat with every kind of unconscious decision that he is making. And so he gloms onto these two and is attracted to them because of the natural abilities and their just secure selves. And he wants to have that so desperately that he kind of wants to consume them. Yeah. And so you see at the beginning of the film, the two of these two, it's like through osmosis, they're kind of like the same person almost. And then as later in life when the marriage happens here, it's, it takes on that kind of form as well. And so it is this interesting thing of like, you're attracted to someone because of what they have, and so you kind of want them, but you want the idea of them, but you don't actually want them.
Yeah. You both want my number?
Very much so, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not a homewrecker.
We don't live together.
It's an open relationship.
Also, Patrick has a girlfriend.
I do not. Hey, come hang out with us later.
Want me to come tuck you in?
No. We just keep talking. About tennis.
One thing I'm obsessed with was the cinematography. I just loved watching the match the entire time. If you could frame a snapshot from the film, what scene would it be?
Oh man, there's so many good ones. I would say some of my favorites is the under the floor tennis shot. I would say
when the camera's the ball,
ball.
That's kind of like epic.
The frames of both of you like smirking at each other from across, like I would like that. Oh man, there's so many good
one of my
ones.
favorite shots in the whole film is right at the beginning, at the challenger match, and the camera comes up above Darnell, who's the umpire,
and then over,
and comes right up to Z, and it's like one smooth.
Also the churro scene. You in his face with the sugar on your face and you like smiling at him, I think that's a great shot. I'm just thinking of screenshots,
No, those are perfect.
And the red light, whatever, the slow-mo red light.
That's really good.
When
Images
we're arguing.
are good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sayambu, who is genius.
Sayambu is amazing.
Hey, I love you.
I know.
Zendaya, watching your performance as Tashi slightly reminded me of Marie.
Oh,
from
really?
Malcolm and Marie, just because of the emotional journey that we follow is so character-driven as well. They both have very complex personalities and personas, and you're kind of invested in like, what's gonna happen with this character in the end. I'll love for you to fill in this blank for me. I want to play characters who
are complicated. I think I enjoy playing characters that maybe sometimes on paper do things that would consider them unlikable, unlovable, or irredeemable. And that being my job to make people empathize with them and care about them. I think that's one of my greatest hopes always has been with Rue, for example. It's like I always want people to empathize and love her and care about her, despite the decisions that she makes and the people that she hurts along the way, and remember that she's human and she's hurting too. And I think that just becomes like your job as an actor is just to make them as lovable as you can, no matter what harm they cause themselves or others. So I don't know, that just becomes my challenge, and I like that part of what we do.